Hey guys, it has been a while. Hello, hi. In case you haven't seen my previous videos on YouTube that I posted like almost a year ago, go and have a look at them. Quite interesting things I was saying, interesting discussions. But today I want to focus on a totally different thing, and that is uni life. So exactly a year ago, I got accepted into the University of Southampton, and I was really excited. I remember I was watching all these uni life-ish videos about other people and what it was like for them and their experience. And so I just wanted to share my own experience. I remember when I came over to the university halls, I was really anxious and I was really depressed. I chose to live in a studio, which is amazing because I have all the privacy I need. But on the other hand, it is much more difficult to socialize without people. When you come over, especially if you're living far away from your parents, if you come over to another city or even to another country, it will be really difficult for you to cope with that. You know, it's a lot to take in if you're by yourself. It is much more difficult to make friends when you're in the university if you live in a studio, because you don't really tend to socialize with people inside your halls because you live in a studio. You don't really have any reason for you to go out of your flat like I don't. And at the same time, it's not like school where you would be put into one classroom. There are maybe 10, 15, 20 of you, and you're sort of like socializing, getting to know each other, and the teachers doing all these interacting things with you. University is quite different, especially with those degrees that tend to be lecturing. When you're in a lecture, with hundreds of people, a lot of the times, unless it's like a language where yes, there would be 10, 15 people there, but in most cases it is the lecture room. It is hundreds of people listening to that one lecture, and they're all trying to learn something new. And in the first year, you're sort of scared, especially at the beginning. You don't really tend to talk during lectures with someone who's sitting next to you because you want to listen to what the lecturer is saying, because it is important, and I do advise you to listen to it. And so you don't tend to make friends as easily. For me, university life isn't as crazy, and it's not as, incredibly something wow as many people would portray it and many people would think it is. I think it's not the fact that you're in the university, it's the people who you are with. I have a lot of people around me who are my friends who live very interesting lives, even though they haven't gone to uni and they're just working, but it's really fun to hang out with them and with their friends, in their sort of friend circles, because they're just generally interesting people. However, with the university, many people go into university simply because they don't know what they want to do with their life. I think it's an incredible waste of money, and it's an incredible waste of time. Personally, there are so many jobs nowadays in developed countries, and especially if you're a resident, which you can get, and you can earn good money without really having to spend any time in university, or any money on it. And the thing I've realized is that it is okay to be by yourself. I've noticed that ever since I came into uni halls, I was sitting on my computer and on my phone, talking to my friends, playing games, doing whatever else it is you can do on the computer, wasting my time essentially. And that was a coping mechanism. It was just a protection because I needed that communication. I was trying to get it through, through my MacBook, through my phone. It only makes things worse. You have to get out there. I know it can be very difficult, and I've spent half a year in depression, and anxiety, thinking that I'm by myself. But I've realized that the most important thing here is to just focus on the root of the problem. And for a lot of people, the root of the problem is loneliness, the fact that we are alone. Nowadays with the social media, it is so easy to isolate yourself. we sit on our phones when we are working in front of our computers. It is supposed to encourage conversation and encourage communication because it is so much easier for us to talk to each other. You know, all you have to do is press a few buttons and that's it, you're already talking to a person. However, unfortunately, it's not the same, and your body doesn't treat it as the same. Your brain doesn't. Um, it is very important to have a human contact with a person, and it is very important to have the person present in front of you to build that relationship. I know it's especially a problem in gay community. So many people in gay community do that. They sit on their grinder, even if they're in a gay bar together with each other, and instead of talking to each other, they just sit on their phones. Now, I think it's just simply not fair to another person, and it's not right for you. It's not good for you. Because guess what? You can sit on your phone any other time you want. You can sit on your computer any other time you want when you're by yourself, when you're not around other people. Whereas if you are in a circle of friends, it is very important to spend time with them. And I think this is why so many students struggle, especially if they come over to another city or to another country, or if they move away from their family, is the fact that university is a great place to learn how to make friends, because it is the first time you will be put in a situation where you're not at school anymore. You don't have to be friends with someone just because you have the same classes with him. In the lecture room, there are hundreds of people. You don't have to be friends with anyone in particular. No one has to be friends with anyone, with you in particular. And so you learn to appreciate the human context, and you understand how important it is to have friends and how difficult it is to make friends in the first place when you're at university. So my final message is, if you're feeling alone after you moved to uni halls, or you started university life and you moved away from your parents, don't. You know, you're not by yourself. There are so many people who feel isolated, regardless of where they are, whether they are in university, whether they are in the workplace. I see so many lecturers sit by themselves in the dining hall, eating without talking to anyone, just sitting on their phone. And you can genuinely see how sad they are. And it's not just the university, it's everywhere. You have to focus on yourself, and the reason being is when you're by yourself, you learn a lot about yourself. You learn what you like, what you don't like, what you want to do, what you don't want to do. And then once you sort of figure out what you want to do with your life, it doesn't have to be necessarily job or family, it can be your hobbies. Find out what your hobbies are and what you like to do, and sort of go from there. Essentially, all I want you to take away from this video is, if you come to university life, you might feel lonely, you might feel anxious and depressed, but you're not by yourself, and it's totally normal. Use this time to learn about yourself, to learn about what you like. Don't lock yourself in the apartment. It is something you want to do, or you think you want to do because it makes you feel more comfortable, but it's not. You won't make any friends, you will only feel more depressed. It is a safety net, but it is a net. It is a cage, and it is very to get. The more you stay there, the more difficult it is for you to get out. Go out there. You are in the university to learn and to experience new things. Learn about yourself. Learn about yourself. Learn about what it's like to live your own life now that you're away from family, away from school, away from all those people telling you how to live your life and you know what your life should be like. Now you're independent and you can do whatever you want with your life, so use this time wisely. I love you all, and I hope you're having a wonderful day.